There is nothing more you will ever discover within the unknown that isn't simply more of you, more of yourself. A deeper, more refined expression of yourself. A lot of the times, we end up clinging on to our old ego and what's familiar within our life. Even toxic patterns, just because we're comfortable with it, because it feels safe. That's what makes the unknown so scary. So join me, Ventzi, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. Let's get it. So if you change your definition to the unknown and be excited towards it, because through that fear of where your current ego is, and ego isn't like a bad thing. It's this character you've created through everything you've experienced. And you're always going to have some kind of ego that evolves, right? So when we change our definition to the unknown, we start... Hold on. All right, we're back. Had a quick pause, Aroni. So when we change our definition to the unknown, it doesn't become so scary to take your current ego and say, hey, everything we want is on this other side. Maybe you've been hurt in the past. Maybe you're afraid to date again. Maybe you want to start that dating profile, and yet your ego, who's been hurt in the past, thinks all men and women suck. Right? I don't mean to laugh if that's your current circumstance. I mean it in a funny way, because it's I've been through it, right? I mean, not to that extent. I haven't dated every single person on the planet, so I have no clue, right? Except it's this ego belief saying that, all men or women suck, and you're gonna struggle finding a good person, and especially trying to set up that dating profile that you want, because you desperately do want to seek love. However, what ends up happening is your ego and the toxic pain and patterns, if you don't do the inner work and look within and decide what's familiar in my world, what feels comfortable, what do I feel safe with, that I keep attracting men or women that suck, that don't treat me well. And here's the key, it's contrast. What is the contrast showing me that I'm comfortable with? Because a lot of times, if you experience a level of control from your parents, abusive parents, narcissistic parents, dysfunctional family, you're going to attract partners that reflect to you that same energy dynamic. Why? Because it feels comfortable. It feels safe. And a lot of the times when you do meet someone who's feels like a knight in shining armor, it feels too good to be true. So you start guessing it, second guessing it, and eventually you avoid it or you end it because of the fear it's too good to be true, right? And the only way you can ever answer that question is if you haven't, especially if you're attracting narcissistic, dysfunctional people, controlling people, that the contrast there was to show you how to set boundaries, not to be a people pleaser. Because what does that stem from? What does people pleasing stem from? Come on, I talk about it all the time. Worthiness, validation and approval. What if mom and dad never gave that to you growing up? Right? And if you were abused and neglected, you didn't get that. So if you were a people pleaser and you were attracting narcissistic people in your life, you're going to burn out. Whatever you do will never be enough for them. Right? So the only way to deal with people who, are, let's say, narcissistic, are going to drain you is you learning how to set boundaries of your energy and realizing your worth and your value. That you don't need their validation and approval. You don't need to do so much to be worthy of their love. Do you feel me on this? You get what I'm saying? Because you're worthy just for being you. There's literal classes since you're born. Like you're born worthy, by the way. Like a baby, think about it like a little newborn you, right? You have no freaking goo goo gaga clue what the heck is going on here. Right? Like, like you're just like, that's right. I'm here. I'm a baby. I'm worthy. Like, that's just the reality to it. And then as you age and you grow up, you start picking literally from your parent patterns or whatever they're teaching you or whatever you're picking up, right? You're putting it in your basket. Like, I love this analogy because that's what it is. Like you're literally taking classes on not being worthy since you're born, like from people who don't feel worthy themselves, who stop believing in their own worthiness. Like you were born freaking worthy. And you start putting it in your basket like, oh, this person didn't like my shirt in kindergarten, so I stopped wearing that shirt. The bully told me that the color red sucked, so I gave up my favorite color. All my cars are blue now. Right? Isn't blue like supposed to be like a sad color? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's all a belief though, right? Like you're gonna let people dictate your life because it feels comfortable. Would you get my point? So I know we went down this little rabbit hole, hippity hoppity. And if you've seen my boundary bunny video, and I might just link it at the end of this video, that's my point. It's like even setting boundaries is, well, checking if we're still recording, and we are. It's a fear in itself that is a hurdle on the other side. Like stepping through that unknown. And if you ever learn how to set boundaries, or if you ever have, it's like your butthole gets like clenched tight, and you're like, right before you do it, especially if you're new to doing this, like you're worried, like, oh man, are they going to leave me? Are they going to abandon me? Are they still going to be my friend? Are they going to break up with me if I set this boundary and I choose myself and my needs? I've been there. And I did that with some people that I thought were my friends. And I was just people pleasing to the end of the earth, burning out. I once told one of these people, I was like, no, I can't help you. I'm very much focused on working on a melody for my EDM track. And the one time I finally chose myself, this person told me, you only get so many no's with me. Like, and I didn't even realize, and you know what? I felt in that guilt trip, my worthiness, my validation, approval needs, like, they started kicking in like crazy. And I think I went out to go help anyway. So, and that's how like people who, are narcissists and manipulatives, like they manipulate the external environment to get their needs met. Like narcissists aren't technically like bad people. They're in survival mode. This is how they survive. This is through all their deep wounding, how they've learned and managed to survive, just like a people pleaser. That energy dynamic is the exact same. You're deeply wounded as much as the narcissist who's not looking at their own wounds. Like if you're a people pleaser, not looking within your own wounds and saying, hey, I feel unworthy, I feel afraid to set a boundary. Like that's what I mean, like getting over that fear. Once you did finally set that boundary, did it feel a lot better? Have you even done that yet? Have you set that boundary you've been wanting to set? Have that, tight whole conversation with that person? Have you expressed that your feelings and how this person is creating an environment that you feel a certain way based on their behavior and putting the responsibility on them? Because if you're not and you're afraid of the outcome, like they'll abandon you, they'll leave, there's all of those things are kicking in. So on the other side of that fear of the outcome is everything that you want. Because if they reject you or deny you and say you're too much, I can't handle it. All right. Hey, I thank you so much. This is what you meant to serve me, was to show me how to set a boundary. Once I started doing this, people, places, and things started dissolving away from my life that weren't in alignment with my truest expression. And I became a problem to them, right? And I had to go over that fear. So now, what does this mean? Now that you overcame it, yeah, you lost some people who were never going to care for you in the way you deserve to be cared for. You know, that familiarity, kind of like your parents, that maybe have not felt like they cared for you. Right? On the other side of that fear, though, now I'm attracting people who do care, who actually do appreciate me, who accept my no's and they just get it. They're like, they're independent individuals on their own. They don't need me. There's no codependency. And this is another thing. It's like, you get to learn how important it is to be alone, because through that, anybody that comes into your experience when you're not afraid to set healthy boundaries, they're just a benefit. And it's always like, if you stay alone for 3 months, nobody, right? And I spend a lot of my time alone. So I'm very, very appreciative. And everything's just a reflection of who you are being internally. So I'll give you an example in a second. However, it's like, you can see the contrast. Like, somebody's showing you a reflection of maybe you have an abundance wound or a love wound or some, worthiness. You can appreciate the contrast, or whoever's just showing up, enjoy the pleasant moment with them. They're temporary too, just like the rest of your life. So today I was at the gym, and like, I've been in this very neutral like state, realizing that we're all source energy, and my Ventzi ego, we've been taking stuff out of his basket, right? Like, certain things that I no longer associate with in my life, like fear of death. You're an eternal spiritual being. You're going to reincarnate. Like, you're a part of all that is. Like, out the basket goes. When you finally experience everything you wanted to experience here, then you move on. Very simple. So that went out the basket. Yet that fear still kind of comes up, right? Nervousness, anxiousness, like certain things, but and you still get to be human and having this human experience, except the trick is not even trick, it's more of the treat. Once you get to this point, is you realize how to navigate anything that comes in your life. Okay, so I was at the gym today, and because I've been in this neutral state of realizing source energy and my higher self, I am my higher self, just my body is the veil, and my higher self is literally me orchestrating everything, and I get to experience it as Ventzi. Right? So me and my ego here, we're kind of just picking and choosing what do we want to keep. Because I still love the character Ventzi. I don't enjoy so much things I don't prefer, like fears. So, point is, I was at the gym, everything's been neutral, like the music was low, like it's usually pretty loud there. And like, everybody was super chill, kind of like the vibes were just like vibing. There wasn't very many people. And then like, finally I went to go like sit down by the like stretching area place, and like just like normal looking gym people were like showing up, and I'm like, man, where's all like Cheetos wearing shirt people, or people showing up in their fullest expression. And I was like, it doesn't really matter. I'm still in this neutral place, and I was feeling kind of tired, and I was realizing, man, this is a reflection of my neutral energy. And then this cool song finally played. Like, even all the music I was listening to, like, just wasn't doing it for me. Finally, this cool song kicked in, and like I started feeling a vibe. And then like the two other people that were in the stretching area just left. They look like normal people. One of them was really attractive, very pretty woman. And then as soon as that kicked in, and I was just like starting to vibe, like two people out of nowhere, one with like pink dyed hair came by, and once literally I watched my energy shift and the world around me shift. Like, it was somebody showing up to their fullest expression of self. Because I moved from that neutral state of energy, and I've learned the power of non-attachment so much that that's what I'm seeing in my reality. Is like, things happen, it's like I can be engaged. I'm not detached from it. I'm very much so engaging. And law of attraction, by the way, it's not about like detaching, because detaching is also saying like, yep, I don't have it, so I'm going to let it go because I'm going to try to manifest it. And if you're trying to do that, you're going to incorporate lack, because you can't show up in front of a mirror with the universe's mirror, by the way, with your frown on your face and like be putting on a fake smile. The universe's mirror doesn't care. It's only going to reflect back to you in your reality what you truly feel and believe. So non-attachment is the key, where you can still be engaged in this present moment, choosing your vibration specifically by choice. Unconditional. Unconditional, that literally means without the condition, you can stand the vibration which you prefer. What is vibration? Want to raise your vibration? Vibration of love is the highest vibration you can be in. Unconditional love, that you can choose love and not like, oh, I'm in love. Like, you can be in love with that screaming kid over there and be at peace. You're not changing your stance in your environment no matter what happens, because you become that strong. That's how powerful you can be. So point is, anyway, people at the gym reflected that to me, and then really I watched it shift. I watched the energy shift. Maybe it got a little bit more of like a busy time, and it was just so interesting to watch. I actually wrote it down in my notes because it was pretty on point. Like I watched it, and these people came out of nowhere. Like they just manifested out of thin air. And I was like, yup. Like, you know, taking the note. I was like, anyway. So here's the thing. This is actually my main point of the video, which now's the time to climax into. I realize my videos, I like to be in flow state energy, and it's like progressive music on an EDM track or melodies. And it's like, I have this thing where I, build up and build up till it gets like this high tension point, and then it like shifts. So that's how I realized how my videos are too earlier while I was at the gym, which is pretty rad. Because I'm like, man, how can I make more videos to be like more on point and direct? Because I watch some of mine, I'm like, oh, I could have just got more directly to the point here. And then I realized, well, I like making videos like this. I will continuously keep improving. That's going to happen naturally. So anyway, that was a good realization. Point is, though, here's the thing that's going to help you on your journey, especially is, I think I mentioned this in my last video, is a lot of us think we have to go through this huge healing process to heal and shift from our previous ego that's been damaged or hurt, or that's a belief. Like those are all beliefs, by the way. Like you continue to believe it. However, and that's a subconscious belief. You're not constantly thinking it's because you were hurt. It's subconscious. You've put it away. If you haven't felt what you needed to feel during the event that traumatized you or gave you pain and suffering or hurt you, maybe that breakup sucks so much, right? If you haven't felt what you needed to, it's going to suppress. And that's why they call it shadow work and inner work. So that way you can look within and add your consciousness to it to release it. Feel those feelings finally. Let them go. And showing gratitude to any event is the best way to add justification to it. Be coming from a loving place and realizing this happened for me. Because now I know how I want to be treated. Now I know that I didn't know how to set boundaries with people, so I learned how to. I did some work, talk to Chat GPT a little bit, watch my Boundary Bunny video, hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity. I did this thing. It was like double bunny. Can't get that out of my head. I will link the video after this. Point is, though, oh my gosh, where did my point go? The Boundary Bunny ran off with it. This healing journey, right? We believe like we need to do all this work. Really, the real truth is adding awareness, adding your conscious awareness to the pain and the suffering and feeling those feelings to release them. And now that you realized you can set boundaries and you've done some work, looked up on Chat GPT, oh yeah, watched the Boundary Bunny video, looked up ways how to set boundaries in a healthy, loving way that's expressing your needs without coming off like aggressive, because that's what I mean by love, unconditional love. You come up from a showing of love because you want to give this person an opportunity to grow with you, not deny them that opportunity. That sucks. When you go in it, like somebody comes at you and attacks you because you finally are so fed up and it's not coming from a place of love, that's not going to go very well for either one of you. Then you're going to be wondering why you can't set boundaries properly. So no, don't fear the outcome, set that boundary. And now that you've learned how to do all that, man, I keep going back on boundaries. Point is, that contrasting event that hurt you showed you how to do this. That's my point. So show gratitude. It's like, that's it. Once you learn the lesson and you show gratitude for it, you can release it then, or just adding your awareness to it. Because guess what? Anything that's in your subconscious is a habitual habit that just you're naturally doing. And adding your awareness to it and recognizing and realizing it is the end of that habit, the end of that ego that's not in alignment with who you want to be. That's the healing. There's no other healing process you need to do. I know it may sound a little wild. Why though? Can you guess? If you watch my other videos, you probably know. It's because, like I said, it's no longer a habitual habit. You have awareness on it. Now it's a choice. Now, whatever you're choosing to do and keep thinking that all men and women suck because you still haven't learned how to set proper boundaries or communicate with people and actually get to know them, right? If you haven't done that work, then you're still going to be stuck. Do you get my point? If you're choosing to continue not bettering yourself, it's a choice. Once you have awareness of the habit, it's a choice moving forward. So realize what you need to feel on why all men and women suck. This is just an example. You can put this on anything. Once you add awareness, that's the end of whatever behavior that's not in alignment with the version of you that you want to be. So create that point B version of you and get real familiar with it and meditate on the feelings of what it's like to be that version. That way you can start feeling comfortable with those new feelings in the unknown. So again, it's a choice moving forward. That's the end of it. And a lot of times we fear taking this new route. We want to go back to our ego and not this new route and version of ourselves because it's scary. What if we get hurt again? Right? Well, that's why you prepare yourself. Doing the inner work, find ways to start feeling more safe. Okay? So come to the realization that it's a choice moving forward. That way, like I said, and also through the unknown, you'll meet a deeper expression of yourself. Why? Because that's a more healed version who knows how to like set boundaries, knows what you want in your life, how to be treated, how you deserve to be loved. Because you're adding awareness to your subconscious beliefs. Life can shift instantly if you allow it. So step into the unknown. This is your call to action. Start doing things that are in alignment with what you want in your life. Stop being in fear. Because otherwise, you're never going to move. And you're going to stay where it's comfortable and safe. So ego death, hello new ego, hello new deeper expression of yourself. Okay? Gym fit, by the way. Deeper, more aligned, fullest expression of myself. Yo, just wear leggings to the gym. Just get... Oh, cause guess what? It ain't easy being cheesy. Much love, cosmic soul, cosmic beautiful soul. Love and light vibration out. Have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day.